Alongside the vote in the House of Representatives, the President and the White House rolled out the red carpet for Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince earlier today. While the focus of the visit was investment pledges and a fighter jet deal, the controversy surrounding Mohammed bin Salman and the 2018 murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi received a lot of attention, and the CBC's Hilary Johnstone has more on that part of the story. So, Hilary, how did all of that play out?
Very friendly. It was very friendly, this meeting between the two leaders inside the Oval Office. At times, Donald Trump even was patting the Crown Prince on the leg. At times, they were laughing. And Donald Trump even said that he was honored to be the Crown Prince's friend. You can see this here. This is the arrival when the de facto leader of Saudi Arabia meeting with Donald Trump inside the Oval Office in the United States. This is the first time he's been there since Trump's first term back in 2018, which was the same year that the Saudi journalist writing for the Washington Post, whose name was Jamal Khashoggi, was killed inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, according to U.S. intelligence agencies, at the hands of Saudi agents who then also dismembered his body. All of this being done at the direction, according to U.S. intelligence agencies, of the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Under the previous American administration, President Joe Biden had promised to make Saudi Arabia a pariah state due to its human rights record. He did meet with the Saudi Crown Prince, but certainly nothing like this, with a warm welcome into the White House inside the Oval Office. We want to bring you a little bit of the exchange between Donald Trump and one of the American reporters in the room who started asking questions about this, about the fact that there are these accusations that Mohammed bin Salman ordered the killing of that journalist. He has always denied this. And Donald Trump sort of intervened and said that the journalist had been a controversial figure and denied that the Crown Prince had anything to do with it. So here's a little bit of that exchange from earlier.
As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen, but he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that.
Now, in terms of other things that the leader spoke about, they spoke about this $1 trillion investment that the Crown Prince has promised to make within the United States, in the stock market, in various American companies and factories. They also spoke about the Abraham Accords, which Donald Trump has wanted Saudi Arabia to sign in order to normalize relations with Israel. There did not seem to be any sort of firm commitment on that front. They also spoke about F-35 fighter jets, with Donald Trump saying just yesterday that the U.S. does plan to sell them to Saudi Arabia, despite some concerns from some defense officials, defense observers, about whether or not that could mean that stealth technology might one day fall into the hands of the Chinese.
And Hilary, getting back to the Saudi journalist who was killed, we've heard from Jamal Khashoggi's widow on this visit. What does she have to say?
That's right. She's been speaking with various American media outlets, saying that she would like his remains returned to her, and also saying that she would like compensation from the Saudi government. I want to bring you a little bit of a statement she posted a short time ago on the social media platform X. It says, and this is directed at the President of the United States, POTUS, "There's no justification to murder my husband. While Jamal was a good, transparent, and brave man, many people may not have agreed with his opinions and desire for freedom of the press. The Crown Prince said he was sorry, so he should meet me, apologize, and compensate me for the murder of my husband."
Hilary, thank you. CBC's Hilary Johnstone. So let's stay on this and bring in Gregory Aftandilian. He is a senior professorial lecturer of foreign policy and global security at American University. And sir, thank you for taking the time. Appreciate this. Excuse me.
My pleasure.
So many are criticizing this visit because of Saudi Arabia's human rights record and because of the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, which U.S. intelligence concluded in 2021 that the Crown Prince approved the capture or killing of Khashoggi. So what do you make of this visit?
Well, it sort of culminates the political rehabilitation of Mohammed bin Salman in Washington, particularly by the Trump administration. Of course, in 2018, President Trump, in his first term, tried to protect Mohammed bin Salman in the aftermath of the murder of Khashoggi. And then you just heard recently that at this recent press conference that Trump says, well, he had nothing to do with it, meaning the Crown Prince. So Trump, this is a pattern of President Trump to protect Mohammed bin Salman. because, of course, economic ties, strategic ties, and political ties.
And this runs, we should just point out, Gregory, right, that this runs completely counter to what U.S. intelligence has determined.
That's correct. The U.S. intelligence community essentially said Mohammed bin Salman was the person responsible for giving the order for the murder of Khashoggi. So Trump has gone against his own intelligence, chiefs in his first term, and he sort of reiterated that same line just today at the press conference. So this is a pattern that Trump has made ever since 2018.
Why?
Well, I think for a lot of reasons. One, he values, of course, the big Saudi investments in the United States. As your correspondent just noted, that Trump wanted him to get to $1 trillion in investments. There was a $600 billion investment sort of figure running around there. And then at the press conference, Mohammed bin Salman said, we'll raise it to $1 trillion. And Trump was, of course, very happy. There's also, of course, the issue of Gaza and the reconstruction of Gaza. And Trump certainly wants the Saudis to kick in a lot of money for the reconstruction of Gaza after this 2-year war there. And then, of course, Trump sees Mohammed bin Salman as an ally vis-a-vis Iran. There's also perhaps Trump family business interests, which, of course, Trump claims that there's no connection because he says he's not running his family business anymore. But certainly there's Trump family business operations taking place in Saudi Arabia.
The Crown Prince has also developed close relations with Russia and China on oil, technology, and other sectors. Do you think Trump is worried that Beijing could replace Washington as Saudi Arabia's security partner in the region?
Well, it didn't indicate that from the press conference. In fact, I think Trump, touted the fact that the United States is number one in artificial intelligence, AI, and the United States builds the best weapons of any country in the world. So I think Trump is certainly mindful that the Chinese are trying to make inroads into Saudi Arabia, but he hopes that this friendly ties with Mohammed bin Salman will somehow diminish those ties, or at least keep the United States as their number one partner of Saudi Arabia. And as for Russia, Mohammed bin Salman has collaborated with Putin on oil issues and sometimes even on some political issues. But it's hard to imagine that Russia would replace the United States as Saudi Arabia's number one partner.
Trump said Saudi Arabia trusts the U.S., which is why they've invested in and said, quote, we trust them. How do you see the future of the relationship of the two countries?
Well, as long as Trump is president, and that's going to last for a little over 3 more years, I see the U.S.-Saudi relationship as being very close for all the reasons I talked about earlier. But, if there is a new president with the Democratic Party 3 years from now being elected, and that person emphasizes human rights, then you could see tensions in the relationship. And besides the Khashoggi issue, there have been a number of human rights organizations that have recently talked about the number of executions in Saudi Arabia and the arrest of dissidents. So that's going to continue to percolate, but it really won't have much influence on President Trump.
Sir, appreciate your time. Thank you, Gregory Afdandilian.